Let's look at some information here on um, electrical wiring diagrams and symbols, right? The website that I got this from is promoting a wiring software, home wiring plan software. You have various software that you can use for your electrical wiring diagrams. You could, of course, also use your old pencil, paper, and drawing instruments, but nowadays you have various computer software that you can use on you to complete your wiring. Now, well, to complete your wiring plans. What this is saying here is that it's necessary, before you wire a house, it's necessary to plan out the location of outlets, switches, lights, and so on and so forth before you connect them. And as an all-inclusive floor plan software, eDraw, that's the name of the software here, contains a large range of electrical and lighting symbols. Now, it says here, if you are not drawing professionals and don't need complicated drawing software like CAD, that's computer aided design, then you can use eDraw or some other types of software. CAD is really a professional type software that is extremely expensive, very, very expensive, but very powerful. But you can use various drawings, whether house engineering, mechanical engineering drawing, electrical drawing with CAD. But if you're concentrating on just electrical drawing, then you can use eDraw or some of the other types. Here we have a plan, a wiring plan, and there's a screenshot of the eDraw software. But let's go down to some of the common symbols that are used in electrical drawing. Here we have a single pole switch. You can use an S to represent the switch. That's the common switch that you use to turn your lights on and off, right? You can also use this symbol. That's a symbol for a single pole switch. Then you have the ceiling light. Encircled ceiling lights. These are saying LUM, that's luminaire, which means light, alright? Now, you might also include double pole switch, where you control one light from two locations. So you use two bars on the line here instead of one, as in the case with the single pole switch. Now, this type of thing here, the multi-light bar, is a fancy type of light where you have more than one smaller bulbs on a lighting bar, right? The duplex receptacle. The receptacle is really what you call the plug that you plug your phone charger into, plug in your radio, your electric iron, your television, alright? Duplex because you have two plugs on one receptacle, so it's called duplex. You have the symbol for your distribution box, that's your breaker box, and so on and so forth. So you have duplex receptacle. You have a circle with two lines sticking out like that, alright? Now, let's look at an example of a house wiring plan. Here you have an extractor fan, so you have the two arrows. It's an exhaust fan. This is the bathroom, so someone uses the bathroom, they turn on the exhaust fan with this switch, and you have the dashed lines, the dashed blue lines going to it. That's the wires. Those are the wires going to it. It's showing you that this extractor fan is controlled by the switch on the left when you're facing the wall. Of course, Most bathrooms don't really have an extractor fan. You open the window to allow air to pass through, right? You might want to use an extractor fan. It prevents the scent from going in the living room. This area is the living room. Then you have another switch and you have a fancy lighting bar. So in the bathroom, they don't have one bulb in the center of the ceiling. You have a lighting bar on the wall. Now in the living room here you have dining and living and dining area, right? You have the one big bulb, one light at the center, in the center of the ceiling, and it's controlled by this switch. You can see the conductors, the wiring going to it. But you have these lights as well, 10 of them with R there. They are recessed light, recessed ceiling light. So they would use smaller bulbs than the regular bulbs, and by recessed it means it's inside the ceiling and it's flush with the surface of the ceiling. If you place your hand on the ceiling and rub your hand, you can pass over the surface of the bulb without bumping on anything, right? It's level with the ceiling, and it sinks into the ceiling. You have the kitchen here with a switch, the conductors going to the bulb at the center of the ceiling fans, and so on and so forth, right? Let's look at another plan. See if we can get a closer look. Here you have your duplex receptacles and the conductors. The dashed lines show that this receptacle and this one, as well as this one, they are wired on the same circuit, right? Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on one circuit. The Jamaica standard only allows no more than 5, only 5, maximum of 5 on one circuit, right? But in some countries you can have more, as long as the current being drawn from them don't exceed the maximum rating of the circuit breaker. All right. Now we have a lighting bar with 3 bulbs here. You have ceiling light, that's the square with the diagonals crossing. Recessed lights here, and 4 switches. One switch controls the recessed lights, one switch controls the main light, another switch here. You have recessed lights over and near to this wall, and this recessed light controls this bulb over here. So this is a living room, living and dining area, because you have a symbol for a dining table with 6 chairs. So it's literally living and dining area here. All right. From the circuit breaker panel, right, you have these receptacles controlled by a circuit breaker here on the panel. Then you have these receptacles controlled by another circuit breaker. It's one circuit. Then you have another circuit here, right? And in this room you have a sub breaker that controls the lights and the receptacles, right? You have another breaker panel here. This is the main panel, and you have other panels in the various parts of the house. Now this is one way that they wire these houses in, for example, the USA. In Jamaica, we generally have only one or two panels, right? So these are the symbols that we have here. We have a little closer look at these symbols. Socket, which is a receptacle. The switch, S. Lights, for example, this one. You have another type of light, right? That's different from the common style of lights. Then we have the recessed lights. It's R there. Then of course you have your cable for your television, telephone, wired internet, and so on and so forth. All right. But these are some of the common symbols that you must be familiar with for your electrical drawings. And of course, if you don't remember a particular symbol, it's easy to find it online. All right. Over time, of course, you become more familiar and know your common electrical symbols. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.